Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity. My name is Jay. Today I want to show you a very basic, so let's say you've just started out X-Wing, and I'm going to show you a basic storage and or transport system. Now, I wouldn't, be going on public transport or anything with it, but if you're just going to put it in your car and go to a friend's, then it's okay. Other than if you've got anything serious, then I would obviously get a more permanent storage solution and transport solution. But these containers, these compartment organizers from, I can't remember that guy's name, Tommy Walsh. He was on a DIY show in the UK. It's UK based, but I presume you'll be able to find something similar in the US. £1 each, this. And the compartments are quite interesting. Most of the separators come out, well, a lot of them do. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, not that, sorry. And you actually get enough for the sides here, so you could have an extra 4 compartments. But this long one here actually fits in almost all the movement dials apart from the 5 and the range 3. But you can imagine this is really handy to have at home. You could have your evades, your focus, whatever, your numbers for your ships. It's quite good. You've got a big compartment if you have any larger ships. Doesn't quite fit in the Millennium Falcon, and I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, this is fairly decent. And then we'll move on to what I've bought 2, so that's £2 so far. And you can probably see the yellow in it, but let's shake it around. I'll put it close to the mic. There's a bit of movement, but not like a bit of sound, but not like a lot. This is exactly the same stuff. Got the Millennium Falcon in here. It's the ship we've just recently bought. It's basically just sponges keeping stuff in place. We got the ship styles. There's tokens in there, 2 X-wings, bases. So you can store everything you need. And you could basically call that a day. And the sponges, I got 3 giant ass sponges. 3 of the 1 packet contains 3, and I've used half a sponge just for that. That's not even half a sponge, I guess, but nearly half a sponge. And £3, you could have your tokens, most of your ships. Now the Millennium Falcon, what I actually did, and I won't be displaying it on the one that I've already done it for. I'll see. This one comes out, and then I was like, I need to get rid of this, and obviously that's firming. So what I actually did on this is I cut down the side here, and I cut down the side here. Down the side and down the side, and then I just pushed it and snapped it off. What that actually did was it caused a hole in the bottom. These are only £1, so. The tool compartment organisers, just in case I didn't make that clear. But in the hole at the bottom, I had some green stuff, which is basically a putty that goes hard, and filled it up. But you could also do that with maybe filler, just make sure you don't get it everywhere. However, before I broke that off and got the Millennium Falcon, I actually expanded into these. Now, before I thought the Millennium Falcon wouldn't fit in these. So I foolishly went to B&Q and bought these. These are just a different kind of tool compartment organizer. These were £4 from B&Q. These are the McAllister 14, as it says on this one. The reason I say foolishly is that if you look online, you can probably start buying proper storage solutions at like £8 plus. Customized foam trays and stuff like that. This is the same kind of stuff. I was hoping that the long part here at the top, I could actually fit in the Millennium Falcon, width-wise. I couldn't. You do get some more separators with this. On this other one over here, which I'll show you, I know it's off screen at the minute. This has got all my X-Wingy stuff in, all my X-Wing, all my Imperials in. Sorry, why did I say X-Wing? That's crazy. This does fit almost all the tokens in it. It doesn't quite fit the range ruler in, even without that M bit. It won't fit the 1 to 3 range ruler. But this has my tokens in it, and my dice. This is fine. I just wish I would possibly, because we're doing YouTube and I'm buying more and more ships, I think the cost effectiveness of buying tool compartment organisers is going to worth in. I should probably look into a more serious solution. But I just wanted to make the point that for basically £3 for a beginner, and you want to take them to your friends or something, then, if you want to do it really cheap, these tool compartment organisers and the sponge I mean, fine. They will. I'm fairly sure most of them, your miniatures will survive in reasonable condition, and that's all you can really ask for. So that'd be £3, as I said. The next thing I just want to briefly talk about is how to store the cards and stuff like that. So there's a cheap way of doing it and an expensive way of doing it, and I've gone for the expensive way of doing it. But the reason being is we're going to have a lot of ships because there's me and Katie, so there's 2 of us. And obviously we're trying to make YouTube videos, so I want to like keep up to date. Like this is from the new wave kind of thing, which is crazy because we've only got the Millennium Falcon and the Darth Vader ship, which I can't remember what it's called. Aggressor, Punisher, no, I can't remember. So yeah, these are the expensive way of doing them. What you could do, try and keep it cheap, like we did with the tool compartments, is you could buy a ring binder and plastic wallets. Now the plastic wallets, when you initially look online, it'll say something like £15 for 100 sheets. You don't need 100 sheets unless you're crazy. I think these only have 20 sheets in them. Yeah, but you'll see the sheets for your pilot cards are like the standard size, so you'll find them. But you can buy like 5 or 10 sheets for like £2 to £3, £4, something like that. So I highly recommend that if you want to keep it cheap, you buy a ring binder and buy like 5 sheets and whack in all your pilot cards in that. Same thing, the ones for your upgrade cards, these are actually called Mini American, or American Mini, I think it might technically be called. I don't actually know the difference, but these can have your upgrade cards in them. Obviously I've tried to store mine in a logical order, but we'll see how sensible that goes. And again, you can get an A4 sheet for like £2-3 for like 5 or 10. So really you could get a cheap ring binder, say like £1 or $1, and you could get your sheets for like, in total, an extra $4 maybe, and or £4. And you know, you'd have enough, you'd be £5. You'd have enough for your cards. So you could have basically £3 spent on your tool organisers and your sponge, £5 spent on your cards, and you know, that's a reasonable solution to me. However, this is £15. This Ultra Pro binder with it's got space for 360 cards. It was £15. It was very expensive, I think, personally. But my plan is basically I'm going to have the Rebels or the Resistance in the front. That's pretty much what Katie's using at the moment. That's all I've got so far. And at the back, starting like back to front, basically, I'm going to have the Imperials. And then slap bang in the middle, when I actually do get some, I will be having the Scum and Villainy. And this, I think this one was £7. So, I mean, this is actually interesting because this has like, it holds 360 cards. I don't know if I'll ever fill that up. But yeah, at the front I've got modifications. Then I'm going to go with titles and so far. You know, that's fine. I'm doing it in point order as well. Just so, I could do alphabetical, but I could be there all day sorting that out, and I really don't want to. So that's it. That's all I really wanted to show you. A really possible cheap way of storing your X-Wing ships and your tokens. If that interests you, then that's good. If not, then I'm sorry. Well, that's how I'm just currently storing mine. As I said, do be aware, like, I spent £8 on, well, £4 each on these. And I looked on, I think, Chaos Cards, is it? There's a cheap box, which I think is like £8. Now, the box doesn't come with any of the foam trays, but the foam trays you then are like specifically customized to the ship, you know, instead of using sponges. If you want to look a little bit more classy, this is sort of what I would do for friends. If you're going to go to a tournament, you probably, or you know, going to a shop or something, you might want a little bit more proper and ignore the toolboxes completely. But for home, these are quite useful. Yeah, I just thought I'd make this video. It's what I'm currently using. Hopefully you found it vaguely interesting. If not, I'm sorry. We'll you know, I'll probably make another video when I step up my compartment, my storage system, which I'm thinking will probably be a big giant box. A lot of people do use a Stanley tool box. I can't remember what it's called. If you Google Stanley tool and X-Wing, they'll show you. And then what some of them do is they'll cut, well, this is the Millennium Falcon. It's already, there's not that much around the edge anyway, so this is probably almost as fine as it gets. They basically make, they keep these, they either reshape them so that it's more accurate in terms of there's less wasted space, or maybe they just use them like this. And they'll put that itself into the compartment tool organizer. The Stanley one's huge, so this would probably fit. And as you can see, obviously, this is the, I forget what it's called, vacuum press mold or something of the ship, so it's not going to go anywhere once it's in that. Because it'll be like pretty damn flush with the top as well because of the packaging. So a lot of people do that. I think instead of doing that, I'll probably just upgrade to, you know, proper full tray storage solutions. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to offer you my cheap possible storage guide, which would be £3 for your tools, probably £5 for your cards. Well, £3 for your ships, £5 for your cards. This isn't £5. That's me spending more money than I should. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a beautiful day and goodbye. Bye.